In a world of uncertainty, the Ronin stands apart. A master of sales and marketing who answers to no one. Forge your own path. Create your own success. 1,000 leaders, 1,000 Ronins. Will you be next? Join the revolution now. Step into mastery at therevenueronin.com. In a world of uncertainty, the Ronin stands apart. A master of sales and marketing who answers to no one. Forge your own path. Create your own success. 1,000 leaders, 1,000 Ronins. Will you be next? Join the revolution now. Step into mastery at therevenueronin.com.
All right, welcome, my friends. Welcome, my friends. We are back with another, Startup Circle community space. Thanks for being here. Welcome, everyone. Still getting over my cold, my recent cold. But great to have you aboard. This is Sales and Marketing Mastery Wisdom Wednesday. Got sales? If not, let's fix it. So, definitely going to be sharing some good pro tips for everyone. I'd love to hear from everyone else. Shout out to Stardris, Ani, Andy. Good to see you guys. Let me get up Andy. Ani, if you want to co-host, let me know. Happy to send you a co-host invite. And yeah, thanks everyone for being here. BK, Manic, X Aftermath. Yeah, thanks guys for being here. So please like and repost the space first and foremost. Would really appreciate it. We're going to be, these are daily MBA masterminds, or what I like to call uh, master classes, right? Every single day we do these for 1 hour. So um, they're very streamlined, they're very on topic, on point, and we like to keep the mic, moving quickly. And so if you want to come up here and share, we'd really love to hear from you. How's your sales journey going? Do you have sales? Are you looking to close any recent deals that you need help with? All things are on the table. Of course, sales and marketing related, but mostly really trying to emphasize sales because here's the trend that I'm seeing right now on X and, with a lot of creators is and builders, right? They're really building things. They're building great things. Like these are really great tools. People are excited about it. But then where the rubber really meets the road is because building has become so easy, you still need to sell it, right? You still need to get paying users ideally, right? You still need to sell what you're building. You need to get people to invest, to sign up, to pay money, to really prove that proof of concept. So, which can be very challenging. People underestimate how challenging it is to, get paying customers. It's very challenging. But if once you crack that code, and you get some momentum going, then you're good to go, right? But getting that first paying customer, that first paying user, it's very challenging. It's very challenging. So that's what we're going to be emphasizing today is, hey, how do I get my first paying user, my first paying customer? What does that look like? What are some pro tips around that? And then, yeah, like, the reality is if you spend, 3 months and no one signed up for your thing yet, then you probably want to, try building something different. And really, the pattern is, find out what people want, go and get it, and give it to them. And a good place to start is definitely some, keyword research tools, right? Like Google Trends or Google Keyword Tool, because that will give you some indication of search volume and search traffic for those particular terms. That's where I always like to start, right? If somebody's already searching for a solution, and you have a product that's that solution, then there's a high likelihood that, hey, you're onto something good. So you don't always have to be limited to just starting off on, social. You can look at search and social, right? You gotta do both. Don't rule out just doing one or the other. It's always and, right? So speaking of and, I want to go over to Andy and welcome my co-host Andy. Andy, welcome. How's it going today?
Always stay till 7. So I've got some other things going on. That's why I've been on and off the bases the last few days. But here, okay, so a couple things. First, remember, whatever you're trying to sell to someone, they may need that or something slightly different. I'll give you an example. I was talking with a business owner friend of mine, and I asked him about subscriptions and SaaS software and where he goes, and I said something like, do you need other tools? He goes, well, of course we need, I've got this problem we need fixed and this problem we need fixed, but I just don't want to have to go spend all that money to build stuff. I immediately thought in my mind, I could build one of those. Okay. But I realized so could he, if he had the knowledge. And what he really was saying, and we talked about this, was his solution is, I don't need to buy insert giant huge software tool. I need to solve this one little tiny step of a problem that may expand into other problems later, but I just need to solve this one thing. In my mind, I thought, I can use my open Claude system and build Claude code and build him an app to solve it. But I also thought he probably would pay to get, how do you make one of those things so he could build his own or to support his own. So the point was, he has a problem. In the past, we would create a solution and then offer it to them as the problem. We also can say, let me show you how to solve the problem yourself. So both of those situations work. And this is a pro tip that I think everyone, including everybody here, is totally sleeping on. Okay? There are so many videos and posts. If you've noticed, X is absolutely posting and promoting video content, right? There's text, there's pictures, and then there's clips. This clip, that clip, whatever. If you don't have time to watch the clip, or you want to just get a summary, or you don't understand, click the little grok button and say, help me understand this. What are they talking about? How does it work? Give me a list. How do I apply it to me? And use Grok inside of X to, if you don't have time to see the 2.4-hour video of Elon talking with the two guys, just hit the button and say, give me a summary. Give me a summary of the outline. I'm interested in that part. Give me a detail around just talking about that one thing. You don't have to listen to the 2.5 hours. You can push the button and Grok will tell you the answer. So also one more thing about Grok, and this total shout out to John Collis. He said a year ago, hey, you should just turn it on and talk to it every day. So I've been doing that. Here's two things I found. Number one, in the past, ChatGPT gave you multiple threaded context. It would persist some information across a set of context. It doesn't do that anymore. And it limits your conversations to 1 hour. The latest, if you start a new thread in your Grok, if you have a Plus account, if you have a Grok Premium or whatever, if you start a new thread, the context window 2 million tokens. So you roughly consume about 150 to 200 tokens per minute when you're talking. Essentially, that means it's a 7-day, 24-hour a day of you talking window for one context thread in Grok. If you're not doing this, you're sleeping on it. But there are warnings and guardrails. It will only tell you things it wants you to hear. You have to frame it and stretch it, whatever. But the point is, if you are trying to solve problems, there are tools that are pretty free and you probably have access to already you're not using. And secondly, you don't need to spend all your time watching the videos. You can just push the little grok button on the thread and say, explain it to me. And it'll just give you the answers. So there's a couple tips there. As far as sales, offer people what they want. Offer people not what they need, what they want. If they give you a Christmas list, buy stuff from the list. Don't go outside the list. Give them what they want. And then lastly, people always run from the things they're afraid of rather than towards the things they want. Okay? Here's the promised land. It's over there. Go run to it. Oh, I kind of like where I'm at. There's a lion that's going to eat behind you. Let's go. People always run from their fear. If you really want to make sales, point out what they're afraid of and give them the absolute truth of how they're going to end up there if they don't make any changes. Expect you. Sorry, and I got to drop. Bye.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. Yeah, handle it, man. So thank you for the Wisdom Wednesday today, Andy. Got some great stuff there. And yeah, I forgot to mention too, speaking of some of the tech and the AI stuff. So I literally launched Claude Cowork, the other day, and I don't know if you guys struggle with this, but my desktop was cluttered with all these images, screenshots, stuff like that. I didn't even have any room, and same with my downloads folder. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try this out. And so I told Claude Cowork, I was like, hey, I gave it access to my desktop. I gave it access to my because you can give it access to certain folders, not your whole system, like, Claudebot. So, and then it did its thing, like literally within about, I'd say 15, 20 minutes, because some of my files are pretty big. It organized my entire desktop, and then it organized my entire downloads folder and categorized it, put it in folders, created the folders automatically, which was pretty mind-blowing. So, so the point is like, man, the tech, I mean, man, it's incredible, like what the tech can do. And so, yeah, it's just, but we need to remember the fundamentals, right? We need to remember the fundamentals, which is it's going to increase productivity, it's going to decrease costs and increase our efficiency and also help us, drive revenue, right? That's what these tools are here to do. And it's really up to you how you yield them, right? It's up to you. So, but yeah, good stuff. Thanks, Andy. We got a full house today, so good to see everyone. Some Ronins, some familiar faces, some friends here. So thanks everyone for being here. Let's go right over to Kevin because I haven't heard from him in a while. I'm still getting over this darn cold here, but it's so good to see you, Kevin. Welcome. How's it going?
It has been a little bit. Sorry you're still feeling sick. Is this the one from the holidays still? Because it's been like a month. That's the case. But either way, I hope you're feeling better as well. And yeah, I just came in here as well, to talk and, give a little bit of wisdom in sales as well. And, well, I've talked about, the importance of marketing and putting yourself out there as well. But I don't think I've heavily talked a whole lot about really the strategy when it comes to sales as well, because you may have heard this spiel before where I'm sending out 300 DMs every single day, but not without reason and without, actually having a proper ICP set up as well too. So it's one of those things you learn very quickly in business where it's not about selling the plane ticket, sell the destination, right? So I've come a long way in realizing rather quickly, in fact, that people don't actually care very much for the product as well, right? You're talking about features, you're talking about this and that, this and that. And if the prospect has questions, which they regularly do, that's totally fine. but it's not your job to be talking. It's actually your job to be listening for the most part. If they have questions, you'll guide them through it. But your job is to ultimately take them through the process and then, giving them that dream outcome as well. And that's been always my goal with followers, or sorry, as a ghostwriter, right? People don't necessarily care about the processes. In the beginning, it was strictly how can they leverage followers to then getting an audience, to then getting sales. That's what they cared about. And then you sell them the dream, which then turns into reality through the process, through testimonials, through all of that. And they get them to, buy hopefully long term as well. And one of the other things I found too with service-based industries as well, you know, here's a pro tip: try signing them for 3 months. Right. I think I made a big mistake of doing monthly as well. And I think, Justin, you relate with this as well. You tend to take contracts up for 3 months, at the very minimum, if I'm not mistaken. But you'll definitely see better commitment within taking on 3 months as well, because that's the thing I've noticed. When we're doing on 1 month contracts, people are expecting results almost immediately, and it just doesn't work that way. So typically I do 90 days of working with a client, right? We see results almost immediately, not with what is given promised within a month, but after 90 days, right, that's when we see the prospects really seeing all those results and everything as well. So that's also a pro tip for me as well. Yeah, I don't know, just kind of some basic general knowledge, but I think something that people aren't really looking into, enough in these days as well, especially with X being, I think, more saturated than ever. It's no longer, 5 years ago where everybody was throwing money at each other. No, I think now community is more important as ever. So thank God Nikita Beer, didn't just destroy this community, right? I mean, dude, if that was the case, then I don't know what I would have done, right? But thankfully, we're here. The startup circle is great. Happy to help everybody else as well. So, Justin, thank you for being here and just hosting these incredible spaces as always. Nice to see you, Timo. I feel like it's been a while since I've heard your voice. Christelle, also very nice to see you as well. I think she's having a bit of internet issues, but hopefully we could bring her up as well. And BK and Stardris, hope you're all well. And so, you guys are fantastic. Yeah, I'll probably just be in the background for the rest of the space. Justin, again, amazing to see you, and hopefully you feel better very, very soon. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, thanks for checking in, Kevin. Yeah, we've missed you here. And yeah, this is a new cold I got from my daughter. Last week she came home from school sick. She got, we had to go pick her up because the nurse was like, yeah, she's got a fever. So brought her home, and then 2 days later, both me and my wife got sick, of course. So, yeah, that's how it goes, in a in a household here. But nothing we can't get over. So, but yeah, all good here. Thanks, Kevin, for tapping in. And guys, please like and repost the space. We're really gonna get into some good stuff here. Kevin's already kind of, tipped us off to some good wisdom there, to start the space, and Andy as well. And but yeah, we got a couple other people on stage that I want to go to. And but again, please like and repost the space. Would really appreciate it. And just before we go to Timo, I do want to say that this is really a core part of sales. So the best sales, obviously, I'm going to point out the obvious. The best sales is really not, it doesn't feel like sales at all. It really feels like you're serving, right? You're serving. Okay, so let me reframe that for you. So I've had two types of prospects come to me, right? So the first prospect, they've spent over $200,000 in ads, and I did a post about it recently on the timeline if you want to read about it. But the point is, they spent $200,000 in ads and they didn't get the best results. This is before they were my client, okay? Hey, let me just, make sure everyone knows that. And then, they were complaining about, hey, I feel like I've wasted a lot of money. I didn't get the best return on my investment. This is majority of clients that I deal with is, they're not getting the proper return on investment from their marketing. Okay, their marketing investment. That's what it matters at the end of the day. Okay, guys, is return on investment. Okay, so so that prospect, he already knows he has the problem. Okay, versus the other prospect, they haven't even launched ads yet, but they know they're going to do ads, and they're trying to see, oh, who am I going to go with, right? And they want to get multiple proposals. Now, the the reason why they want to work with me ideally is because we're going to set up the tracking properly, bulletproof tracking system. So we really know exactly where every dollar is going. Now, 90% of other marketing companies do not do it to this level of detail. I guarantee it. So, he may not go with me, and that's okay. Um, and my minimum is, like Kevin said, 90 days, right? You can't expect transformation in 30 days from an ads campaign. Okay, it's going to be very hard unless they have like really great data and I can turn on the ad campaign very quickly in like 2 to 3 weeks and then start bringing in like good results. It's very unlikely. Okay, it's very unlikely. So I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to take that bet. But if they're able to give me 3 months, then yeah, totally doable, totally achievable. So, but again, the client A has more of a problem because they've already experienced running ads and had dismal success. So when it comes to your guys' business, you have to make sure when you're talking to your prospects, if they know they already have a problem and they know their pain point, that's a much easier solve and a much easier transaction versus the other one, they need to be educated. Now, part of your job as a sales professional and as a business professional is to educate. Okay, you need to educate. Don't do it to the point where, and some people don't get it. Okay, like I've fired clients recently. I fired a client, 7K a month. Okay, I fired him. Why? Because they didn't get it. He didn't get it. He didn't get it. And I'm not going to keep going back and forth with the guy. It's a losing battle, right? So you have to choose your battles here. Okay, guys, choose your battles. So the point is, you're going to want to make sure you're working with those dream clients that get it. If they get it, great. If they don't get it, you're in a losing battle and just cut it off now because it's not worth, all the pain, frustration, hospital visit. Okay, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I'm telling you, it's not worth it. So, and then there's really three other key components I'll share. Number one, do they have the right budget? Number two, are they the right decision maker or makers, plural? And number three, is it the right timing for them? Once you have all three of those ingredients, you're good to go, right? They have the budget, it's the right timing for them, and they're all the decision makers are present. Great. Okay, we can all move forward. So make sure you're asking those questions up front. Don't go, months, weeks into the thing and then find out, oh, they only have $1,000 budget. Well, I'm sorry, that's like, an hour and a half of my time. So, I mean, if you want to do that, we can, but I mean, that's not going to be a real sustainable, growth plan. So, yeah, just wanted to put that out there. So, yeah, let's go over to Timo. It's getting spicy here. Christelle's in the room. So, yeah, it's getting a little spicy. All good. We love spicy, even on Wednesdays. All right, Timo, over to you, man.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Good to be here, and it's finally first kind of light outside. I can actually still see, and the streets lights are not on yet, and it's getting warmer, only like -5, so I can actually be on the spaces without the phone dying in like 15 minutes. On the -20 stuff that it's been since like the New Year's, it's pretty painful for the fingers. And for some reason, the Android app is just getting worse and worse on spaces, kicking you out if you're on the screen lock and whatnot. So it's getting better towards the light, as we say it here in the far north. So Wisdom Wednesday, dropped it on the purple pill to put your radars on the wisdom thing, the 300 challenge that I'm doing. Kevin is doing 300 DMs. I'm trying to gather 300 tidbits of wisdom from successful creators, successful techies, successful sales and marketing people, finance people, whom are kind of on the bubble of people everyone should look into. So that's the challenge. That's the featured post that's going to be on my newsletter. And I'm doing 10 outreaches per day. Today's day 3, so we'll be at total 30 with a little warm up and then shooting the question. Appreciate all of you who have already answered. Some of you haven't checked the DMs yet. And there's going to be a lot more. So it's interesting. I'm going to be pushing either thing or just push it until I reach the 300. I'm actually trying to hit 300 per each of those different kind of levels of intel I want from people. So it's going to be interesting and challenging and contentful project, kind of a sideshow to get some traction to the newsletter, get some ideas to do content, because I've been hitting blanks because it's just work at the moment is pretty brutal and super busy. So kind of get my mind out of it, and I'm going to be pretty much fully automating my Instagram DM cycles. I'm diving deep into ManyChat, which is like the app that just does all the automation for you, and sending links, sending replies, whatever. So it's an interesting tool, and I'm going to be diving deep into that because unfortunately, X hasn't been the greatest platform at the moment for outreach, and I know all the important people already, so to say. Not really. There's tons and tons of more, but it's kind of I need a little change of space and change of pace, and just a little new wind under my wings, so to speak. So I'm just pushing hard on 2 other platforms and just keeping this kind of kicking alive here and doing spaces with the people I love. You come here for virality and you stay here for the awesome people that you can see many of in this space. So thanks. You're the reason I still keep logging into this app and doing my little spiels and Timo talks.
We love some Timo talks, Timo. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, and never dim your light, as Yvonne would say. So it's good to see some light coming in over there. And yeah, like, I mean, I think, again, marketing is all testing, right? As we've said. And, once you've gotten great success on one platform like Timo has achieved on X, it's okay to experiment on another platform. The mistake that typically people make is they try to do everything at once, all at once. And when you take that approach with marketing, it doesn't really work out too well. You'll be trying 100 different things when you should be just focused on one thing, one platform for a sustainable amount of time and really get revenue generating. And then it's time to experiment with other platforms, which is, what Timo is doing now. So, and now I mean, it's no surprise, videos perform better in Instagram and, the various platforms, TikTok, for example. So if you can use the AI to help create these videos with great visuals and great messaging like Timo's doing, you're going to get some growth. So yeah, really lean into that, Timo. I've seen the work that you've been doing, and it's coming along great. And so really excited about the 300 thing. Let me pin that in the purple pill for everyone to check out. Timo's been huge on, Beehive, a big Beehive proponent, supporter, user. He's been blowing the Beehive whistle for us for a long time. And yeah, he's, generating some decent revenue from, ad revenue, and also, his product sales, sponsorships, a lot of different opportunities to bring in revenue, and he's been doing it. So thanks for being a good model for us students, Timo. And yeah, if you guys aren't building a newsletter right now, on Beehive, I suggest you do. The two biggest mistakes I made in my 20 plus years is I stopped building my personal brand online and I stopped building my email newsletter list. Okay. Those are the two biggest mistakes I made. I personally know people in my network who continue with their journey and they're like multimillionaires now. So I have the stories, I have the connections, I have the, they're multimillionaires now. So, I'm not there yet, but I will get there. You better darn believe I'll get there because I don't stop. There's one thing if you know one thing about me is I don't stop. When I commit to something and I focus on something, and I'm bringing you guys with me. Okay, I'm bringing you guys with me. You will be dragged to success in this room because that's the standard. That's the standard. I will drag you to success, and you will be like, you know what? I'm glad I'm along for this ride because my bank account is getting bigger. I'm growing personally, I'm growing professionally, and that's what it's about. That's what it's about. And no one's going to be obsessed with your own success except you. And forced entrepreneurship is a thing. And you can't keep building other people's dreams. You can't do it. You got to build your own dream, right? Timo's got a great job, government job, but he's still building his own thing. And you never know, people like Dan Ryan down below, he got laid off after 20 years at a company. That's the reality, guys. That's the reality. So this is why we're here. We're learning, we're growing, and we're doing. We learn it, we learn it, we do it, we execute it, and we bring in revenue and we build our businesses. And it's a long play here, guys. It's a 5-year plan. We're on year 3. So stick with us. If you're new here, welcome. Make sure you join the Revenue Ronin newsletter. I'm dropping daily. Uh, insights, tips, tricks, strategies to bring in more revenue in your business. As long as you execute it, you got to execute it, and you will bring in more revenue. That's a guarantee. That's a guarantee. As long as you execute it. Now, if you're not executing, then I can't help you. And if you want me to do it, then you can pay me a lot to do it. But you can learn this stuff. You can learn this stuff. There's no excuses now. The playing field has never been more leveled than it is right now. And you don't need 50, 100 employees now. You can literally just have, a couple people and you can build a pretty solid, 5, 10, 20K a month business. There's no excuses. No excuses. And if you say you're too busy, you're just not prioritizing the right things. Because, being busy is not the same as being productive. Okay? There's a lot of busyness in the world. But are you productive? Are you profitable? Are you doing revenue generating activities? That's the real question you need to ask yourself every single day and really carve out that time. And, Timo's a model for that. He's a dad. He's got, teenage, kids, a wife, government job, high pressure, and he's still doing his thing. So there's no excuses. There's no excuses. So, yeah, let's go over to Timo and then pass it over to Christelle.
Yeah. Speaking of Christelle, congratulations to her reaching the top 20 earners on Beehive affiliations. So 500 and something dollars. I just saw you reach 19. I think I'm gonna hit that. I think it's top 50 next cycle because one of the affiliates goes from the 20% discount to the actual price. So I might hit that, but obviously that's a live earners ranking, so anything can happen. But amazing to see, and just to rub it in, come on, if you had started that like a year ago. Okay. So anyways, just a little heads up, Valentine's Day is coming up. So if your digital products are not going to be on sale like mine, what are you doing? And yeah, just check out my newsletter, check out everyone else's newsletter. And if you don't have one, just grab any one of the Beehive writers here, and they'll share their link. Christelle obviously could hit the higher ranks even if you take hers, but save some money for us poor ones too. Anyways, so yeah, the reality is, like you said, Justin, I really don't have to do this at the moment, but you never know. So that's why I have the safeguard of I'm building my portfolio of assets on all kinds of investments. Plus, I'm generating these revenue streams and learning how to do them better and better. So, yeah, ads are going to be shooting up. ManyChat's going to automate my Instagram totally. And a lot of stuff happening. I thought I had it all planned out, but now I think now it's kind of the launch time. Next March 17th was the first article, I think, that pushed out from High Stakes Human Skills. So it's anniversary time soon. Another good place to sell some stuff. And building lead magnets, building systems, it's going to be an amazing year. Let's go to Christelle.
Okay, hi everyone. Oh my gosh. Tap, is the mic on? Is the mic on? Listen, I don't want to brag. Okay, I do. I actually fell because I made it to the top 12. I was number 12. Yes, how the mighty have fallen to 19. I'm a little bit embarrassed, but I shouldn't be because I'm very happy to make it on the top 20. But here's the thing, y'all. I had to put everything down. I did this 2-week fast, and basically what it told me was to stop everything and do something else. So that's why I haven't done newsletters. I haven't been on LinkedIn. I haven't been on X. Like, I have not been doing any of the things I was doing. It's so crazy. I highly recommend you all try this 2-week fast that I did because I don't know, it's like the best thing I've ever done in my life, maybe, besides have a child, because it was so powerful in showing me the direction I need to go. So Justin, I'm so happy to be here. I was like, I can't wait to go talk to Justin and the guys and the ladies. So hi, everyone. Hi, Timo. Hi, Kevin. But what came to me, you're going to like this, Justin, so much. Everything I'm about to say, you all, is going to be like honey to Justin's ears because it's what he teaches. It's what he stands on. And so I'm here as a student and, you know, also a fellow teacher and leader. And I'm so excited. Okay, so day 2 of the fast, I just started getting all types of, you know, visions, dreams, which is what I wanted out of it. Like, I did the fast so that I could hear God speaking loudly and clearly and not mistake it for anything else, not be distracted. So day 2, I got, if this is what my day can be like, if I can make this every day, I'll be a millionaire in 6 months, because I had such a productive day after like getting rid of all these things that I was like, if I was this productive, and when I say productive, I don't mean that I was busy. I actually had way more time in the day, and I had to be like, what am I going to do with this time? I mean, fruitful. Like, the work that I was doing was fruitful. It was taking me somewhere. And after 2 weeks, I got not one high ticket, Justin. I got 2 because she brought her mentor along. She said, you know what? My mentor needs this too. So I got 2 high ticket clients. I got to the top 12 of the affiliate leaderboard. I had a post go viral on LinkedIn. All of this is happening during this crazy 2-week fast. And then at the end of it, God was like, okay, all that's nice. You know you can build it because you did it. It's there. But now I need you to build the $1 million in 6 months product. And what that is, you ready for it? Drum roll, please. It's not just newsletters, y'all. I know I'm newsletter queen, but listen, this is the big message I got. We got to go big or go home. And newsletters are great, but they are only the beginning. That's why I'm saying, like, if you don't have a newsletter, you are behind because it's the beginning. It's like kindergarten in a PhD pathway, okay? So the level we need to be at is local media. local media. Justin and I have been talking about this for over a year. Okay, so there's this guy here on X. And he's all about local media. I signed up to his newsletter, followed him on LinkedIn, watched his podcast, replied to his, engaged with the man. And he wanted me to wait 3 weeks to talk to him about building a local media thing. So I say, you know what? I don't have time to wait 3 weeks. I'm going to go on Manus and we're going to work this out. And I'm going to have Manus do all the research on his content and teach me what I need to know to build the local media the way he's doing it, because he's the model. Okay. So I'm bringing back Bliss House because Bliss House was all about media, all about, all of this, but it was before COVID time. So I'm bringing it back. Bliss House Local Media is coming back. I'm following Jeff Walker's product launch formula. So I'm doing pre-launch before the launch. And right now I'm in pre-launch. So if you go to Instagram, you see I've got videos that I'm creating and Grok. I'm using all my skills. You all, okay, I'm landing with this, but it's just insane. I'm renting a Miami mansion for a night for the pre-launch, not the launch. This is for the pre-launch. How do local media companies make millions and millions of dollars? This is the next level. Sponsorship, raffles, giveaways. This is what the Chamber of Commerce did with all their rich people. Okay, if you want to make money, this is the wisdom I'm sharing with you. You can do the same thing you're doing, but you got to go find the people with lots and lots of money that will pay you a lot more than what you're currently charging. So this is the model, and I'm landing here, but you're going to see it. I'm hosting a whole 24-hour event pre-launch. Everything's going to be recorded, all media, podcasts, dinner parties, all the fanciest, schmanciest stuff. Okay. And I'm inviting like the most beautiful women that are influencers, all that. And this is a media event to promote the launch because it's all visual. So you're going to see me a lot more on Instagram now. But this is the sauce. It's sponsorship, you all. If I go to Justin, and I promise I'm landing here. If I go to Justin, and Justin's the man, y'all need to know who the sponsors are in the space. Justin is a sponsor. So if I go to Justin, which I'm about to do after this space, and I say, hey, Justin, I got this product for you. It's $500. It'll do this. Or if I go to Justin and I say, hey, Justin, would you like to sponsor this pre-launch that's going to be at this mansion? It's going to be amazing for $500, same price. And you know what? I'll throw in the product with it because I always got a product, right? I'm always building something. That's going to be a lot more appealing to Justin than just saying $500 for the product. So we have to start asking for sponsorship. So this is the brand. Bliss House is going to be me teaching women specifically how to ask for money. And I'm going to teach them how to ask for money through sponsorship. And we're going to dig into the deep pockets of the men. Yes, the men. So men, I'm coming for you and I'm asking you to sponsor these women founders because they're going to be spoiled and I want it to be on your dime. We're also going to have women sponsors too, but this is how the men will be involved. Okay, I'm landing. Thank you.
So this is some high ticket talk here, guys. Okay, I didn't know we're getting into high ticket on a Wednesday, but hey, let's do this. I'm feeling some type of way now. Christelle's got me feeling some type of way. Okay, so
months, Justin. It is doable. $1 million is not what it was 5 years ago. We should be able to make $1 million in 6 months.
yeah, 100%. You got the right people in the room, right? With the right budgets, with the right problem, the right challenge, the right pain point, the right timing. You sprinkle in a little bit of AI talk, and you're good to go. And you have it in the location. Okay, let me tell you, you have all the ingredients here. You have all the ingredients. You're hitting all the ingredients that you need for $1 million launch in 6 months. Absolutely. 100%. 1,000%. So it all comes down to, and I know I always go to the next step, right? So the marketing is got to be on point, right? You got to have the right collaborators. You're already reaching out to the local influencers. You're doing it right. You're doing it right. So, but yeah, this is exciting to hear about, Christelle. And yeah, like wow. Yeah, Beehive is a good game, but it's a low ticket game. And yeah, the done for you services, that's, decent mid ticket. But if you really want high ticket, like um we're talking what's his name? Russell Brunson level. We're talking
Myron
Myron
Golden.
Golden. Yes, Myron Golden. Yes.
Well, y'all need to be listening to, because they want you to be making millions, not your first 1,000. That's nice. Okay. We're still going to send out cute newsletters about making your first 1,000 online, but I can't stay there. It's driving me insane. Okay. So I'm always going to teach to the people who need to make their first 1,000. I love y'all, but I got to get to 1,000,000 so I can turn around and teach y'all how to do that.
Yeah, and following the journey is going to be incredible too. Like the building in public aspect of this offer is really what's going to be attractive too. People are going to be, they're already attracted to you as a person, what you've been building, but now it's like you're leveling up real time, you're building in public, and yeah, it's going to be validated, and there's going to be pre-sign up, pre-sponsorship. So yeah, I like what I'm hearing. I'm excited. I'm very excited. So we knew that, local media, we knew that in-person events were gonna make a comeback because of all the AI stuff, and you're making it happen. So
We
good.
talked about it all last year, right?
Yes.
Like we started talking about this November of the year before. So all 2025, we're talking about this building, this planting the seeds. So it's like this wasn't just yesterday. You know what I mean? Like I need people to understand, like you have to plant the seeds. The newsletter is a seed. It's a very important seed. But we can't just stop there. Okay, got Yvonne on stage. Yvonne, I'm coming for you because, I'm all about getting the beautiful women with amazing brands and amazing things to teach and saying, look, let me spoil you for 3 days, spa day, catamaran, and you don't have to pay a dime. We're going to get it paid for. We're going to get you sponsored. Isn't that a lovely business plan? Isn't that lovely? And then I help Yvonne find the people to sponsor her too, and I send them beautiful letters and invites on her behalf. I think it's brilliant.
Wow, let's go. Yeah, let's go. This and what is it going to be called, if you don't mind me asking me? Do you already have a name?
Yeah, so that's Bliss House Local Media. So Bliss House is the brand, and then I've always had like these branches. So there will be Bliss House Network, which is the community that focuses on women founders. So that was a new revelation that I know didn't come from me. I say if it's something you didn't want to do, then it probably came from the Lord if it was a good idea. And I kept hearing focus on women founders. And I'm like, no, it's so lame to be like gender specific, blah, blah, blah. And it kept coming and coming. And I said, you know what? This is actually going to be brilliant for branding because people love supporting women. And it's not exclusive, right? Men are definitely welcome to be a part of all of it. But y'all are going to be the funders and the sponsors. And my dad confirmed this. He said, we love it. Men love it. They feel good when you come to them and ask them to sponsor you or sponsor something. So look, I'm on to something, y'all. We're about to be on to something. We're going for the men egos and pockets and giving them the opportunity to support the women. And as I like to say, the daughters of the kingdom. God don't play about his daughters, okay? When you support them, you will be blessed. I promise you. So the blessings are just going to go all around. Thank you. I'm done. Now let's spoil the women.
Wow, I'm loving this, Christelle. I'm loving this angle. Yeah. The $1 million mansion, media empire. So I can't wait to hear more about it. I'm hooked. You got me hooked. So yeah, this is exciting. Well, thank you, Christelle.
I'd like to say
Yeah.
for anyone else listening, this is amazing. But remember, like Crystal said, the base is still at the email list and the newsletter. So she's beyond that. She's like out there just on yachts already. So we got some catching up to do. And also, Christelle, check your DMs on Telegram if you can. I need to talk to you about ManyChat if you're using it too. So please try and check them.
Amazing. Yeah, thanks, Timo, for that reminder. Yeah, got to nail the fundamentals first, and it's always a progression, right? It's always a progression. So,
yeah, skyscrapers don't start from floor 20, you know? They start from the base. And it's the widest thing on the building.
yeah, amen to that. All right, let's go to I want to check with BK real quick, and then we'll go to Yvonne. BK, are you there?
I'm right here, my brother. How's it going? Justin, hey, man, it's been a while. I always, it's because I never catch you live. I literally just popped in because I'm driving across Europe right now. So if I drop, I'm not being rude. So I won't be very long. Timo, fantastic work. Christelle, oh my goodness, it's been a minute. I love the energy. I love that women thing you got going on. DM me with the details. Let's see what we can do. All the Dans in the room. I saw my two Dan friends there. Guys, listen, I'll start off by saying, Justin, thank you very much for your consistency and your energy and keeping this thing going. You are the embers on this fire. We appreciate you, brother, and all the consistent leaders in here. Now, listen, I brought, there's a million and one things I could talk about, but I'm going to narrow it down to a couple of things, okay? First of all, why do business exist? What is the main reason? I'm not asking you to tell me. I'm just trying to get your, take this as a defibrillator to your brain. Why do businesses exist? Think about that. The answer will shock you. It's not profits. It's not growth. It's not scaling. It's something so fundamental yet so basic. Why do businesses exist? Why does your business exist? If your business exists because you want to buy a mansion, you want to go on holidays, you want to buy your kids new shoes, you shouldn't be in business. That's not the reason. Number two, ask yourself these 6 questions. They show up in different formats, but listen to this. Especially the sales element of your business. I'm going to focus on it because sales and selling as a business, this is the lifeblood of your business. This is where literally, if I removed the blood from your body, what's left? It doesn't matter how good you look, doesn't matter what shoes you're wearing, doesn't matter where you live. If I remove the blood, all the blood circulation in your body, sales is that. But let me help you with this. Effective selling is around these 6 things. Think who you are selling to, especially. Do you help them make money? Or do you help them save money? Do you help them save time? Do you help them be productive? Because you can't make them time, but you can make them productive, right? Do you protect them, the business owner, or do you protect their business? 6 things. In the protection piece, you can switch the word protection. You help the business, or do you help them personally? Those 6 things, I guarantee you, I've worked in different industries, in different countries for decades. The best selling folks never sell. They simply focus on these 6 things and they find out what those 6 things mean to the person in front of them and match their solution to those things. Remember, all the money you need, all of you in this space, all the money you need is in someone else's pocket. Ask Myron Golden, he'll tell you this. All the money you need is in someone else's pocket right now. How do you get it out of them? How? It goes back to this one reason. Why do people buy? And why should they buy from you? It doesn't matter how glossy your newsletter is, talking about newsletters. everything we're talking about here is going to come down to this. For some of you in this room, this is basic stuff. I get it. For some of you, you're probably hearing this for the first time, and it could change your life. I'm in sales a very long time, and I'll tell you, I have a cabinet full of awards for selling, but I never sell. I connect and I focus on those 6 things because I understand this one thing. There is no business on earth, I don't care how big it is, they all exist for this one main reason first, and then everything else after that. I'll tell you what it is. It's for acquiring customers. Acquiring customers. No other. Find a business that doesn't have this at its base. It's not a business. It won't last. I'm telling you right now, if your business is not acquiring customers, check it. Get out there, acquire customers, and then focus on the quality of customer, a paying customer, a repeat customer, and so on and so forth. Profits will come from that. Cash flow will come from that. Scale, anything else will come. I could write a book about this stuff, but I'm just giving it to you here for free. Somebody just paid me 6 figures for some of the stuff that I do. 6 figures. Okay? I'm giving it to you for free because I love you guys and I love Justin and what he does here. These are the things that are changing lives. Unfortunately, it only works when you apply it. I love you. Good luck. I'm crossing over to Germany right now. See you later.
BK, brother, man, on fire today. On fire, man. Thanks for tapping in, BK, and grabbing the mic, and safe travels over there, driving through Europe. Yeah, life is hard for BK right now, so man, great stuff, BK. Great stuff. Wow. Yeah, guys, acquiring customers and retaining customers, that's the name of the game, acquiring customers and retaining customers. And the key is really sustainable business growth, right? And you've heard it from a master like BK, who's won awards for sales. He's been doing sales a long time. Obviously he revealed some great information about companies' budgets that he's playing with right now with clients, not playing with, he's getting rewarded for his expertise. He's getting acknowledged for his expertise, right? He's getting privileged because, people are privileged to work with BK, right? People are privileged to work with Kevin. They're privileged to work with Christelle. It's a privilege to work with Timo. This is the mindset you have to have, right? When you're at the top of your game, when you've committed to mastery and you've been doing things as long as BK has been doing it, right? You will be able to command those top tier high ticket prices. Why? Because he's a master at what he's been doing, right? That's the progression. You can't fast track that, right? You can't fast track that. All you can do is continue leveling up, and you're going to level up in these spaces. And thank you so much, BK, for the share. It was brilliant. And repeat customers.
Thank you for the opportunity, my brother. I really appreciate it. But again, guys, everything I shared is not to brag or anything like that. It's purely to love your success and your impact. I want you to win, and I don't want anything from you. In other words, I'm not saying this so that when you win, you can say, oh, no, I just want you to win. Because when we all win, the world is better. Okay? But remember, don't put pressure on yourself. It takes 17 years to be 17. Don't try to shortcut it, but do the work. Go through the year, go through the day, go through the month. Be 17. And when you are 17, be the damn good 17-year-old ever seen. Be that. Love ya.
Yeah, much love, BK. Thanks for tapping in, man. Always a pleasure. We're going to go a little extra today here. We're going to go into a little bit of bonus time because I want to make sure we get to all of our speakers here. So we'll go till like 8 o'clock max. I got a hard stop at 8. I got to start running some Facebook ads today. Yay, Facebook ads time. So yeah, we'll go around to everyone. And yeah, thanks again, BK. Really appreciate the wise words and always great to see you. Thanks for tapping in. Okay, let's go over to Yvonne and then we'll go to Dan and then Stardris for a few minutes here. So Yvonne, welcome to this fire space.
Dude, Justin, it is a fire space today, right? Oh my goodness, so many amazing things. Like, I had to pop up here because I was like, with what the energy Christelle is bringing, I was like, girl, let's go. I am loving the fire. And I love what Kevin said earlier. When he was talking about selling, he said, sell the destination, not the plane ticket. Dude, that was the bomb. But yeah, I just wanted to come up here. I'm just loving the energy. I love what you guys are putting out. And Christelle, girl, I was back how I was a kid. Like, that's one of the things that I love about you, and I have always loved about you, is it's so nice to have other women, like, for real. Like, this is why so many of my friends are dudes because there are not as many women who are into sales and who are, look at, oh my God, I almost said there are not as many women who are into sales and marketing, Justin. If that is not an indication of that your brand and your repetition is working, there it is right there. Because I meant being like entrepreneurs and business owners, but it's so exciting. It fires me up. And this is one of the things I have loved about you, Christelle, from the very beginning when I first heard your early spaces, like back in the day when you start talking about all this stuff, because you're always building, you're always expanding. I love your thinking big, because I am big like that. I made me think of that quote, like, it's a Napoleon Hill quote, right? He was like, I bargained with life for a penny or something like that when I realized I should have bargained for more. And it really is true. Like, we got to make sure, sometimes we are our own worst enemy. We can keep ourselves small, and you don't realize the value of your worth, of just your unique life experience. And it's so important that we level ourselves up. And it all goes back to that mindset stuff, right? Like, how are you seeing yourself? And if you're not seeing yourself in the league of those millionaires and multimillionaires and things like that, and you want to be, then you have to reframe how you're seeing yourself and see yourself there, because it is possible, right? Having that goal, girl, I am here for it. Let's make it happen. I love everything that you shared about the events. And these are the kind of things that get me fired up, because that's the stuff that I'm thinking. And I just have to say, like, and I also love what Timo said, because it's so freaking true. Like, literally, my newsletter, I'm doing the Russell Brunson thing. I'm literally doing my newsletter so that I can build my email list for the other products that I'm having that are foundational evergreen products, get that whole machine going, essentially, right? Like, building the foundation for the house and then spinning it off with all these other things. It's not only the one thing. Like, the newsletter is basically just a lead magnet funnel, and then also helping people, brand awareness, all those kind of things. But it's not ever just about that, right? And now with Beehive, you can even have the products on there in addition to your website. But I just had to come up and give some flowers and some just, fire love back to Christelle for what she shared about doing the events and the sponsorships. And Justin, a shout out to you regarding that, actually, because when you had talked, I think this was like a year or so ago, and you were talking about getting sponsorships for spaces, and we hadn't even like really connected so personally at that time, but you inspired me at that time. And I got my first sponsorship. It was from Alex Finn for Creator Buddy, because you had talked about doing that for spaces, and I was doing spaces at that time. So I was like, dude, I'm freaking reaching out to him, and got my first sponsorship. So that's why it's so important to mention these things, because we do need to be reminded. And that's why community and this collective is so powerful and important, because we infuse that in each other and remind each other when we get so linear in our thinking to think bigger, to think beyond, or to spark that in a different direction. Because sponsorships and branding and stuff, you're so right about that. That's where it's at. Or I am literally, you guys, like, I've been working out every day. I'm like hardcore gonna look exactly like I do in my freaking profile picture. I mean, I pretty much look like that anyway, but I haven't been on camera in a while. So I'm like, that's part of my thing that I'm doing to push myself, is to put myself back on camera, because it's so easy to get uncomfortable doing that, especially being an actor. I get so critical about looks with myself and stuff like that. It's such a Hollywood thing. But anyway, you got to level yourself up, so you can start doing these events, doing things in person, like really having all of that exposure and push yourself beyond where you are. And that's why I love this community. And before I rattle on, I'll just end there.
Yeah, thanks, Yvonne. Yeah, and I want to highlight, your newsletter. I know you haven't like revealed it fully yet, but I'm really loving the positioning of how you're reframing things for, the average person, but it caters to both audiences, your ICP and, general creators, but there's so many, wisdom in there for everyone. So I can't wait for your reveal of what you're building officially, Yvonne. And, health is number one, first and foremost. So I'm glad you're, getting that dialed in, and appreciate you, and appreciate all the support. And yeah, like, going back to the sponsorship space, yeah, I remember like me and Christelle and everyone here, a lot of us on Fridays, we'd be talking sponsorships, right? And I nailed down, I made a commitment, and I was like, hey, I'm going to get some sponsorships this year. And I think I nailed 2 or 3 sponsorships, last year, which was great. And yeah, it's like, throughout the journey, you're documenting, you're building in public. But impossible to me means I'm possible. And that goes for everyone here. So you really need to program that in your mind. And look, people need to be reminded about things multiple times. If you think you're going to just make one offer one time in an email, you're going to get sales, like you're going to get let down. But just know that as you continue building that momentum and that positioning, and reminding people of, yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter. Don't forget to join, the Ronin community. Don't forget, this, that. Don't forget to get, your next sponsorship. All you have to do is ask 100 people. There's a high likelihood that you may get 3 sponsors, right? So we have to be reminded of this stuff pretty frequently, because it's a very distracting world. And we come here to cut through the noise, right? We cut through all the noise. We get very focused on, okay, what is the conversation, the topic at hand, and really lean into that. And marketing in the past, just to reveal, you needed much less touch points to convert people, to really get them to pull out their credit card. The reality now is they need 50 to 100 touch points to convert. 50 to 100, depending on how large of the product or services, the sales cycle, the lifespan, how long it takes, the life cycle. So, don't forget to continuously remind people, hey, I have this offer. Hey, I have this solution that I'm pushing out there. I think it's going to be valuable for you. And remember those key fundamentals that BK mentioned. Are you helping them save money? Are you helping them make money? Are you helping them protect their time more? Uh, you know, and acquiring customers, retaining customers. But this is where, and I saw a post about it the other day. This is where, a guy, he was doing like maybe 20 to 40K a month profit, and he had like a small team, and then he went to a retreat, and the retreat of all these other entrepreneurs were like, man, you got to go bigger, you got to grow. And then he started hiring more people. His revenue grew, but his profit shrank. So he wasn't as profitable when he started growing. So you want to focus and have a mentality of lean and mean, right? You got to stay lean and mean, because when you start to scale and hire all these employees and stuff like that, guess what? Your profit margins shrink. And your goal and your focus really needs to be revenue and profitability. Those are the key North Star metrics, right? Because you can make the mistake I made, and I don't want you to make it, where you make $1 million in 5 years, but you only net 50 grand in those 5 years. Okay, yeah, I paid my bills, I paid all the office stuff, all the employees. Yeah, great. But I only netted 50 grand. That's not a sustainable, profitable business. That's why I got out. So make sure you stay lean and mean, and you never lose your bootstrap mentality. Your bootstrap mentality. Look it up if you need to know what that means. Okay, great stuff, Yvonne. Let's go over to Dan, and then I want to go to Stardris, and then we'll wrap up. But I do want to highlight my good buddy Bakhtiar out there. He's in Orange County. He's a good buddy here on X. Eshta Habibi, Ana Limnani. Okay, that's for you, man. All right, good to see you, Bakhtiar. Always a pleasure to see you. You guys didn't know I speak Arabic and Lebanese, but Ana Limnani, that's the secret. But no, I'm not Lebanese. I'm just kidding. I grew up in my 20s with a lot of Egyptian friends, and went to some Ammar Dihab concerts in Vegas. So I do have I'm very culturally diverse. Okay, I like to experience many different cultures, and yeah. So shout out to you, Bakhtiar. Hope you're doing well, man. Great to see you. Thanks for the shout out on the timeline, and always a pleasure to see you. And hope you're doing well. Okay. We'll go over to Dan and then Stardris, and then we'll close us out. Okay, thanks, guys.
Hey, actually, can we go over to Stardris first? I just want to mention it's great to see BK in backyard, but I'm loosening up my boots to take the dog out on a run. So, yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, you got it, Dan. Thank you, man. All right, Stardris, over to you.
Yeah, wow. Fire space today. Yeah, everybody's on fire. Timo, Kevin, Christelle, wow. BK, wow. That was almost like an MBA masterclass. Yeah, almost better than it. Yeah. So basically, not sales, if not let's fix it. So, yeah. Last throughout last week, I was actually working on a sales system, but then when I look back, I really did outreach. I was working on a sales system. I was trying to like create a sales system, but then I was like, why create a sales system when the funnel is not full? So yeah, I'm back to outreaching now, and I just trying to get back to momentum. Yeah, have a great week, everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Stardris. And this is why pre-launches are really important, right? Pre-launches. So you really want to generate what we call an interest list, right? An interest list of people who are interested. And before you make an official offer, you want to tease it a little bit, right? So you want to, in your marketing messaging and your visuals and everything, you really want to tease people on your launches and get them to commit to just putting in your email, generate that interest list. Hey, we'll let you know when we're launching, but this is what we're building. This is what a lot of great founders do, and it works really well. And then look, if you go to launch and you don't get any signups or paying customers, then that's okay. Then iterate again. You try something different. But don't give up too quickly because some people do is they give up too quickly. So that's why 3 months is a sweet spot. So if you've been generating an interest list, you're doing your pre-launch for 3 months and you haven't gotten any traction or paying customers, then maybe you got to go talk to more people. You got to go talk to more people and get feedback. And here's a pro tip for everyone. I've even done this on pitching investors for funding, angel investors, and one of the things that you do is you say, hey, Mr. Smith, Justin, results for engineer, the revenue run. Listen, I'd love to share something with you for about 10 minutes and get your feedback on it. Can you just carve out maybe 10 minutes for me and I can, get some feedback? I'd love to present something to you that I'm working on, and I think it'd be valuable for you to take a look at it. And then they say, yeah, okay, that's good. I can give you 10 minutes, Justin. Okay, great. So now you have 10 minutes. And then you have your slide deck ready to go, 5 to 10 slides max. And you just basically go through, hey, this is what I'm building. Is this something you may be interested in, participating in? Yeah, Justin, I think so. What are you looking for? Well, I'm looking for 50K. I'm looking for 50K to cover some ad spend. Here's going to be the payback schedule. Here's good, here's our runway, here's everything. Yeah, okay, that sounds good, Justin. So notice that I didn't lead off with, hey, I want to, pitch you something. I want you to invest. No. All I did was I said I want to share something with you that I'm working on, and I'd love to get some feedback. That's your keywords that you want to use when you're looking for, landing an investor or landing a potential customer even, or a partner, fill in the blank, right? Just position it as a way, be very mysterious, on purpose. And you're not, doing anything unethical. All you're doing is you're getting them interested, engaged, that fear of missing out, and yeah, like then you can ask for the sale or the investment at the end. So yeah, and it's complete. It works. It works. I've used it. It works. I've gotten deals done. I've gotten investor money. It works. So okay, let's go back over to Dan, and then we're gonna do. I gotta sign off. Okay. All right, Dan, over to you.
Yeah, I want to give you respect for your space and your boundaries that you just set. So somebody put a 60-second timer on the clock, just to keep me on track. But I just want to add into this, this brilliant masterclass that we got from BK on sales. And I know, Justin, you mentioned the other half of it, the retention of customers, the customer retention, and that's all built on relational capacity. So I mean, there's the formula. Like, go do something with it. You have it here. You have it like in the Ronin community, and I'm just really excited. So I wanted to the thing I wanted to mention, and put a mental bookmark here, is that I'm also in the local market right now, and I'm doing PSAs through my nonprofit. One of the things, speaking on relational capacity, I had to decide, who am I going to be? Am I going to be me here, or I'm going to be my nonprofit? And that was a lesson in itself. And I'm decided to go all into my nonprofit, and that's when things started turning around. So that's what I'm doing. And Justin, you helped me a lot with the small, medium, large offer. I also have an extra small, but if anything pings for you, my DMs are open. And I'm looking for business partners for PSAs on academic growth, mental health, and sustainability, and connecting your business to that message. So, peace out.
And guys, I got to connect. I had the fortunate pleasure to connect with Dan in person recently at the NAM conference in Anaheim. So the yearly NAM conference. I hadn't seen Dan. It was like our 1 year reunion anniversary since yeah. Yeah, it was awesome to see that and to meet up with you there, Dan, and to experience that again. So thank you, man. And yeah, love what you're building, Dan. Can't wait to collaborate more. And yeah, sometimes the positioning, you need to reposition positioning, and we're going to do a huge masterclass on this coming soon, okay, on positioning, because it's really important. Like I literally had to get coaching on positioning because I had this mental block, and yeah, I'm really good at making others like, millions of dollars, and I had to get this coaching, and then that positioning really helped me and kickstart things into that greater momentum that I needed. So but yeah, we got to reframe. And if you want to level up, it's all about who you are first, right? It starts with who you are first. Who are you being? Will Carter talks a lot about it, and Tony Robbins. It's who you're being first that dictates where you're headed, right? So always start with who you're being. How are you showing up, right? How are you showing up? Who you being? And then that will help dictate your trajectory. So yeah, good stuff, Dan. Keep up the great work. And yeah, let's go final word over to we'll go over to Christelle for 1 minute, Yvonne for 1 minute, Timo for 1 minute, and then I'll close this out. Okay, I'm being extra generous here. You guys are cutting into my Facebook ads time. So, client is, waiting for me to launch these ads. It's Wednesday. I got to get them launched today because they're, ride me. So just be respectful of the time. So yeah, 1 minute, final word over to Christelle, Yvonne, and Timo. All right, thanks, guys.
I'm scared. I'm turning the timer on. No, I'm just kidding. That's hilarious because the other day I was definitely making fun of myself for getting so excited about Facebook ads, and I was on the phone with Justin, and Justin, I'm setting it up. I had to let the other free trial end. Anyways, Dan, I love you. It's so good to hear your voice. You're the reason I go around singing. I say that all the time on Spaces. Yvonne, so much love to you. Timo's waving the hand. I think my minute is up. Bye, everyone. Have a great day. Happy hump day. Don't hump without consent.
Yeah, Timo got scared. He left the space because he didn't want his minute. So
Oh, well, then let me take his. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, thanks, Christelle. Yeah, keep up the great work. Always happy to see you back in the fold here. We missed you, but it was all in good reason, part of your plan, part of God's plan. And so yeah, appreciate you so much. All right, Yvonne, final word over to you.
Ooh, yeah. Fire Space. Bookmark this one for you guys. Like seriously. Make sure you crush it today. And I was just gonna mention, like, for another time since we're closing, but I would love to hear, because I haven't heard the whole story of that 5 million, that, how you talk about that, how you made 5 million, but you actually only netted 50,000, or I think it was. Anyway, I would love to hear the story behind that. Like what exactly happened there. You may have told it before, but I'm just saying that that's something I'd be really interested in. And I think that a lot of other people would too. So for another time, but fire space, take this energy, you guys, put it into action, do some execution, and have a kick-ass day. See you soon.
And don't forget to never dim your light. Or what you're saying, Yvonne, your signature saying?
Yes, Yvonne Sayers reminding you, don't ever let anyone dim your light.
I love that. Thank you. And yeah, I'll give you the short version of the million. So I made $1 million in 5 years in my IT consulting business. Okay, $1 million, but I only netted 50 grand. So again, the lesson there was profitability. And the reason why is because, you're paying for office space, you're paying for employees, you're paying for contractors, you're paying for software, you're paying for insurance, you're paying for, all this stuff, right? And, yeah, I had an accountant and everything, but the point is like, after 5 years and making $1 million in revenue, you look at the books and you're like, whoa, man, my profitability was gone. So it's just a good lesson for everyone that, make sure you're factoring in profitability. And, there were months we were doing 20, 30, 50K a month, with server installs, right? Windows servers, I did a lot of that stuff. This is from like around 2003 to 2009, realm, those years. And yeah, it was great, paid my bills, a lot of great stuff going on. But then when the market crashed, the real estate market, which majority of my clients were real estate offices and mortgage, I lost 80% of my clients. So again, and the lesson for everyone is focus on profitability. Make sure you're structuring in profit into each deal, right? So any contract that you take on, you want to make sure you're putting in that profit there because there's a cost to doing business and the operations cost adds up. So that's a lesson for everyone. So I can go more into detail on another space, but a lot of more lessons I'll share about being, and I know where a lot of majority of my profit went to was that I gave discounts when I shouldn't have, which I don't do discounts anymore. Why? Because of that experience. I don't do discounts, and I was too nice, and I let people off the hook when they owed me money. I didn't collect payment up front. Okay, payment up front. Now, so those are those two biggest mistakes I made. Christelle knows all about it. Is I get payment up front, and I also don't do discounts. So that's where my profit went in that IT business. I was so nice. Oh, man, I understand you're losing a lot of money. Okay, that bill is too high for you. Okay, no problem. No, I was like Mr. Nice Guy. That's not the way you become profitable. Okay, like when you're Mr. Too Nice Guy like that, I'm a nice guy. Okay, I'm a nice guy. I think I'm a nice guy. But when it comes to business, you have to take your emotion out of it because that's your profit. That's what I learned. I was too nice. I gave too many discounts, and that's where all my profit went. So I could have made an extra 100K in profit if I had learned these lessons then in my 20s. But now I'm in my 40s, and I ain't playing games anymore. Okay, that was my 20s, right? I'm building $1 million brand now. $1 million brand. We are. It's not me. We are building $1 million brand, the Revenue Ronin brand. Okay. And if you guys are supporters of that, you guys are members of the community, I really want to thank you because you guys are helping support that. And it's a small amount, right? It's not expensive. Even Timo likes to joke like, he for his $20 a month, he's getting massive value and he's made that, 10x what he's invested. And that's what it's about. It's affordable so everyone can get in now. And prices are just going to keep going up. So, yeah, thanks, Yvonne. We'll talk about that another day. A lot of lessons there in that business that I ran, and I've probably run over 5 or 6 different businesses. You don't hear a lot about my other ones. I only talk about the ones that really got some traction, which is the IT business, the marketing agency, and there was a lot of other side hustles. I will call them hobbies. Which weren't really businesses. The second you have a paying customer, you have a business, right? As BK would say, right? When you have a sale, you now have a business. If you don't have a sale yet, you don't have a business until that money hits your bank account, right? Until that Zelle payment comes in, that PayPal thing goes ding, until that invoice is paid, you don't have a business. That's the reality. And it comes with products too. So really focus on serving not just selling, but serving, right? You're serving people and have that mindset and go have more conversations. You want more revenue? Go have more conversations. And at the end of our lives, we'll ask ourselves four simple questions. Did I live? Did I love? Did I matter? And did I make a difference? Until next time, keep making a difference. Build that mind, build that body, build that business, build that bank account, but most importantly, build that legacy. So stay hungry, stay healthy, and stay humble. We'll see you guys at the top. If you want to keep growing, check out the Revenue Ronin community. We've had over 40 people sign up. You could be number 41 if it fits your budget. And, 90-day guarantee return on investment, as long as you execute. That's what it's about. So make it a productive, but most importantly, a profitable day. And I'm going to go run these Facebook ads now for this client because they're waiting to get that revenue coming in. So I got to go make that happen. You know, that's what we do over here. And I'll leave you with this outro music. All right. Much love, guys.
In a world of uncertainty, the Ronin stands apart. A master of sales and marketing who answers to no one. Forge your own path. Create your own success. 1,000 leaders, 1,000 Ronins. Will you be next? Join the revolution now. Step into mastery at therevenueronin.com.
Greatly appreciated. Welcome to my channel. Let's interact respectfully, of course. Your friendly participation is completely.
Okay.